Inter Miami has beaten Pumas 3-1 to advance to the quarterfinals of League's Cup in what was an impressive comeback after looking very, very shaky in the first half of the match. Now, Inter Miami has a huge hole missing Lionel Messi. He's injured right now. And it looks like he won't be back, well, now until the quarterfinals, which they're fortunate enough to be playing in. But Lionel Messi did not play in this game. And a lot of people, even though Pumas was very questionable and a lot of people didn't feel as good about them as a team, would Inter Miami be able to persevere and win without their Argentine maestro? Well, the first half, like I said, wasn't very good. And if you were basing it on the likelihood of what would happen on the first half, they were in trouble. They were cooked, right? So the first half, I felt like the attack was very flat. They didn't really create any chances. They had a couple opportunities, but the attack just kind of like died as soon as they got past the halfway point or the midfield. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. With your help, I know we will reach that goal. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Now, back to the video. They got in the final third. The attack just kind of died. It was very lackluster, right? And nobody really stepped up. Everybody just looked very flat. Segovia wasn't very good. Allende was terrible as normal, right? Rodrigo de Paul his set pieces weren't good, honestly, in this game. Luis Suarez struggled in the first half, or at least most of the first half. Honestly, the whole entire team looked pretty bad in the first half, in my opinion, outside of Yannick Bright. And, Pumas had a player named Ruvel Kaba, if I'm pronouncing that right, who was just dominating. He scored a goal in the 34th minute. He was tracking back. He was playing defense. He was in the attack. He was all over the place. He was an absolute menace to Inter Miami in the first half. Absolute menace in the first half. He was the best player on the entire pitch in the first half for either side. The only bright side, ironically, in the first half for Inter Miami was Yannick Bright, who got his first start in a while, and he looked pretty good. Looked really good, actually, in the first half. He was only bright side, ironically, right? But Inter Miami were fortunate enough in the 45th minute to find the back of the net when Luis Suarez connected with Rodrigo de Paul for him to score his first goal of his Inter Miami career in his third game. They were able to get back on or tie things up before the half ended, which was crucial. I think that really set the tone for the second half and helped them claw their way back into this match. And the thing about Miami that I always say is that when they score a goal, they never just score one. They score two, they score three, they score four, they might even score five. They just are not a one score. They're not a one goal scoring team. That's not their mantra. So you go into the second half, they make a substitution. They take out Chelo Wingett, who wasn't very good in the first half. He was very lackluster, very uninspiring, like just wasn't doing anything in the back line or really doing anything in the attack. They brought in Ian Frey, and the game completely changed in the second half from that point forward when Ian Frey came on. Completely changed. Completely. And they just had more fire in them. Their tails were up, is what one person said in the chat in the live stream. They just looked more motivated. They looked more hungry in the second half, and they came out guns blazing. They were really chasing this game, going for it. And Suarez was able to score, but it was offside. It was an assist from Rodrigo de Paul, but it was offside, and he put on his little hat and his celebration. But, that's how La Tortuga is able to score. He's slow. He's got to get that little extra step, even if it's offside, to be able to get ahead of the defender. But it was offside, but not shortly after that. They were awarded a penalty, and Luis Suarez gets his goal in the 59th minute to put them up 2-1. Then you start to think, okay, Inter Miami might actually be able to win this. And keep in mind, I forgot to mention this, Inter Miami and Pumas were both playing for a chance to advance to the next round of League's Cup, the quarterfinals. Both of these teams needed a win. Both of these teams needed a win. They both needed one badly. And so they were both going for it. They were both going for it. And so Luis Suarez is able to score honestly, a world class penalty on the young goalie, Paul, who's the third string goalkeeper. The backup was injured, and Keylor Navas had a red card. So they were on their third string goalkeeper. Fortunately for Inter Miami, that they were. And Luis Suarez was able to score a penalty to put up 2-1. Well, I mentioned earlier, Tadio Yende was terrible in this game, like he normally is, but Luis Suarez was able to find him with a beautiful pass to score in the 69th minute. Now, I want to say this too about Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez played this game, especially later on, more as a playmaker. And they looked a lot better when he did. A lot better. Like, Luis Suarez is not a goal scorer at this point in his career. He's only got 5 in Major League Soccer this season. He is a playmaker. He's got more assists. I think he's got like 15 assists in all competition this year in 2025. So when he was playing more as a playmaker and Allende, I think, got in front of him, it looked a lot better. It looked a lot better. And Miami was able to win this 3-1. They were able to hold on to it. Mascherano actually made some substitutions early, and they get this much needed win to advance to League's Cup quarterfinals. So my man of the match is, well, I want to know who do you guys think the man of the match is? But for me, it was Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez had 3 goal contributions, 1 goal, 2 assists. He was incredible. Probably could have had a second goal if Tadio Allende didn't revert back to his terrible self after he scored the goal. I mean, he had a wide open opportunity, tried to go around the keeper and wasn't able to score. He just, his technical ability is very limited. So he wasn't able to capitalize on that and give Suarez his third assist. But either way, they played well enough to win. And Luis Suarez is my man of the match. 3 goal contributions. La Tortuga had an incredible game. Probably his best game since the Palmeiras match in the Club World Cup. So that's nice to see. I said before the game that they really needed him to step up if they wanted to win this match. And he did. He did exactly what he needed to do. And I also want to mention that I think Rodrigo de Paul probably had his worst of the 3 matches in League's Cup. I don't think this was his best match. I think you could really see the fatigue and he was tired in this game. Now, to be fair, he did play as a 10, which is not his normal position. He's obviously a box-to-box midfielder. So I think he was a little bit exhausted also because he's played 3 matches in the last 7 days, full 90 minutes. So, or pretty close to full 90. He came off in like the 88th minute in this game. But I think we just saw the fatigue really catch up to him. I think he was really exhausted. I think he's getting much needed rest. I'd be surprised to see him play in the next game in MLS. But I think he had his worst performance of the 3 games. But they will play in the quarterfinals. So we don't know as of yet what game or who they're going to play. All we know right now is that Inter Miami is guaranteed a spot in the quarterfinals because the top 4 MLS teams make it. The top 4 seeded Liga MX teams make it in the quarterfinals. We don't know if Inter Miami is going to be the first seed or if they're going to be the 3rd seed, but I don't think they can be the 4th seed if I'm not mistaken. I think it's going to be 1 through 3. So we'll see where they're seated at and who they will play in the first round of play in the quarterfinals of League's Cup for a chance to win the trophy that they were the first team to ever win. Lift up. It's a new format where there's like a tournament style format. And it's impressive they were able to do this without Messi, right? So Messi will likely be back for the quarterfinals of League's Cup. So we'll see what they are able to do when they get him reintegrated into the team. But it's just nice to see that they can win a game without him because don't be mistaken. This team is very reliant on Lionel Messi, very reliant on him. So for them to be able to win without him is a big confidence boost, I think, for these other players. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if they're able to advance far in League's Cup. I still think they might be able to win it if Suarez can play like he did today. But we will have to see what happens and how fast Messi comes back from his injuries. Let me know in the comment section down below, what was your takeaways from this game? Were you impressed with Miami winning without Messi? Was this expected? Are you disappointed in Pumas? And will Inter Miami win League's Cup? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.